This birthday tribute to Jean Sibelius was not just a salute to mark a milestone, in this case the 100th anniversary of the composer's birth. Rather, Leonard Bernstein has a bigger purpose, to show why Sibelius's music was the voice of the people of Finland. Bernstein explains that Sibelius's Finland at the beginning of the 20th century was a country oppressed by its neighbors, particularly Tsarist Russia. His audience would have made a connection with their own time. The concert took place in 1965 during the Cold War, when Americans were particularly concerned about the freedom of people in countries dominated by the Soviet Union. As always with Bernstein's concerts, the music speaks for itself. When Bernstein gives us the context, it is easy to see why Soviet authorities forbade performances of Finlandia. Music expresses emotions that words cannot. And when the subject is patriotism and freedom, as is the case with these works by Sibelius, its power is enormous and threatening. For the Finns, the music of Sibelius could never be mere entertainment.
Sibelius was a great and strange kind of genius, and to understand him fully would take much more time than we have here today. But perhaps the best way to begin to understand him is by listening to his most famous single composition, Finlandia. I must tell you that Finlandia is famous not only for strictly musical reasons, although for a short work it is musically very stirring and passionate indeed. But what underlies the music is another kind of passion, the passion of patriotism. You see, at the time Sibelius wrote Finlandia, around 1900, his country was not free. Its government was controlled by Tsarist Russia, and its cultural life was still mostly dominated by its other neighbor, Sweden. In fact, all educated and literary people in Finland had for centuries spoken not Finnish, but Swedish, while the old Finnish language was considered vulgar, a language for peasants. But during the 19th century, this language of the people had begun slowly to be accepted and to acquire a dignity of its own. The ancient Finnish epics and sagas began to be regarded as important literature, not just provincial folk tales. And the people began to be proud of their poetry, their old folk songs, their own national heritage. Now, all these things were signs of a revolution that was boiling up under the surface, a double revolution against Swedish culture on the one hand and Russian political power on the other. This Finlandia by Sibelius, like many other pieces of his, was a part of that national revolution. And in fact, it proved to be so exciting to the Finnish audiences with its warlike rhythms and its inspiring hymn-like middle part that for a while the Russian authorities had to forbid performances of it.